What's up Internet, IG here again today with another Linux distro review, and today we're going to be having a look at Zorin OS 7. Now Zorin OS is one of those Ubuntu derivatives that targets a specific audience. Kind of. And what is that specific audience? Well, new Linux users. There are a whole bunch of them out there, and there's actually a growing contingency of this population in our forums and communities of the interwebs. So Zorin OS tries to provide a Windows-esque experience for those who are new to the world of Linux, and to be honest, they are very successful at doing that. Not only that, they've become a very nice distribution in their own right with recent releases. Obviously, their long-term support release, Zorin OS 6, is still available for download, but Zorin OS 7 brings some new features and a new updated look, and overall a pretty nice system to the table. Now obviously it comes in several different versions like Core, Multimedia, Ultimate, etc. And some of those more premium ones you pay a few dollars for or a few euros for so that you can get all of your apps pre-installed. It's definitely nothing you can't do without the Core version, but if you do want that added convenience there, you can shell out a few bucks. So let's take a look, shall we?
So here we are with Zorin OS 7. Now this is the Ultimate Edition, but I want to say first up that the look and feel that they've done, the improvements between Zorin OS 6 and 7 have been very nice indeed. It's also reflecting a bit more of a Windows 8-esque look with window controls and also the start panel being a bit more angular, everything being a bit flatter and sharper. And I've got to say, I'm actually really digging the theme. I think they've done a really good job with it, and also the wallpapers aren't too shabby either. I know it's a bit shallow to start off with the look and feel, but it is something that you get hit with as a first impression, and as a distribution that's aimed towards new users on the Windows side of things, I think they've done a very nice job. It looks very consistent across the entire system whenever you open up Windows or web browsers, etc. Everything looks relatively the same, and apart from Chrome having window controls that are different by default, it's really not too big a deal once you enable the right preferences. Obviously the next thing I want to talk about would be the performance, because it is a fully loaded distribution, but it does have some pretty decent performance considering the weight and size of the install. To be fair, it's actually very well performing. It is using Compiz as the back end instead of the Unity or the GNOME 3 interface, so all the transitions are very, very smooth, and all the animations for the windows are very nice as well. Obviously you've got all of your Compiz stuff from yesteryear here as well, so you can rock out with that and have a bit of fun playing around with those, so that's very nice indeed. Now the other thing is that the task management here on the panel is very much obviously like Windows 7 and obviously Windows 8.1 once they restore the start menu functionality. Start menu of course looks very much Windows 7, and of course you can change this look and feel to suit your desktop needs through the simple Zorin look changer that they've provided. We'll get to that in a second, but as you can see here we've got window controls that we can use to control any of the windows on any of the workspaces. It's nice because it's based on AWN that you do get some preferences here that you can change around to make the dock and panel bar work the way that you want it to, including themes, behavior and all of that. But the integration with the existing Ubuntu indicator apps and that sort of thing, it also works very well as well. Very polished, very nice, and very easy for the new user to get used to. Now if we want to talk about apps very quick, we'll talk about what's specific to Zorin OS 7, and that would be of course the many tools that they throw in for the ease of use. So the Zorin look changer is probably the one that we'll hear most about, and if you've watched any other videos on Zorin, this has been a long-standing feature in their operating system that you can change the look and feel of the operating system to suit a particular other system, to sort of mimic the sort of user interface and user experience that you find in other desktops. Like the default obviously being Windows 7, and then of course you have Windows XP 2000, and then in the Ultimate editions or the more premium editions of Zorin you also get these additional ones such as Unity, Mac OS X, and you also do get GNOME 2 thrown in with the Core edition as well, or the free edition. Now all of the software in this distribution is open source and free, at least most of it. It does come with codecs and Flash as well, so obviously if you're an open source enthusiast, then it's going to come pre-packaged with some proprietary software, but not a whole bunch. The rest of it is pretty standard open source applications, and although you do pay for the more ultimate versions, it's really just for convenience sake, saving you time. So for instance, if I change to Unity, you can see that we get a AWN panel again on the side, and we also get a global menu up the top. Obviously it doesn't work as well as Unity's menu launcher, but you can see here the menu that we do get gives you a very nice presentation of all of the apps that are installed, sort of like an overarching dash view that's I believe it's based off Elementary's old launcher. It's a good way to view all the applications that are pre-installed, so while we're here we'll take a look. And some of these apps I have installed on my own, but most of them were here by default. A good example is Synapse. I've installed that by myself. It's a very nice keyboard launcher. Everything else that you see on the screen is enabled by default. So there's a bucket load of great games here: Airstrike, Extreme Tux Racer, Frets on Fire, Neverball, Neverputt, Super Tux Kart. The list goes on. You can see in accessories we've got a few good things here based on the Zeitgeist activity logging, so that means that you'll be able to have quick access to all of the stuff that you've been working on recently, making launching things very, very quick and easy, especially with that keyboard launcher. Games, like I said, plenty of games here to keep you entertained, and graphics comes with Blender, GIMP, and just basically a great showcase of open source software. As I said before, bear in mind this is the Ultimate Edition, so with the Core Edition you aren't going to get all of these apps, but they're still available for download and install through the Software Center. Internet again comes with a great selection. I've installed Geary instead of the default, which is Thunderbird. And another good tool to mention here is the Zorin OS web browser manager, and basically you get options here to install various web browsers and uninstall if that is your preference. Moving on to Office, there's plenty here as well. Ebook management, LibreOffice, PDF tools. Again, a great collection of software. Sound and video, there is so much here to speak of. It's not even worth me spending all the time to discuss it. You've got DVD authoring tools, multiple music players, video editors, video transcoders, you've got DJing software here. It really is a very comprehensive selection of software here that's available for a pretty affordable price if you're looking for convenience. System tools is not really much to speak of there apart from all of the Zorin tools such as Zorin Background Plus, which is just a fun little perk that you can do that begins like a video background, which does look pretty spiffy if I do say so myself. And also Wine does come pre-installed on here as well as Play on Linux, so that you do have access to a simple install process for any Windows software that you might have. So what are some of the strengths of Zorin OS? First of all, the theming is very consistent throughout. It's got a very nice icon set, very appealing for new users. It also appeals to multiple user bases in that you can install this operating system and tailor and customize it very easily based on the look and feel and user experience that you want. And also the pre-installed software is also very user-friendly as well. The speed and responsiveness has been very good. The install was very quick. Even for the Ultimate Edition, which weighs in at 3.6 gig, it only took 13 minutes for it to install on a normal 7200 RPM hard drive, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. Based on Ubuntu 13.04, so it's only going to have 9 months of support, so that is something to keep in mind. But the Zorin OS 6 long-term support release is also still available for download, as that is supported for quite a lot longer. Final thoughts? Well, I am going to be using this operating system for the time being, mainly because it's Ubuntu 13.04 based and it seems to have all of the bugs ironed out of it, and the speed is obviously there. Boot up and shutdown speed is very nice as well, and just having all of that software available out of the box on the Ultimate Edition is a nice bonus. So if you do want to give the Zorin OS development team a bit of a donation, then definitely head over to their page and have a look at the Ultimate or Premium editions. At the same time, you can still get the Zorin OS Core system for free, obviously downloadable on their website. You can add in the software tweaks and perks yourself.
Okay, so that is Zorin OS 7. Obviously, it does a great job at what it sets out to do, and it's honestly become a very solid distribution in its own right, and it's great to see the constant development and the evolution of this operating system, as it's got to be one of my favorites to point new users to. As always, let me know in the comments below what you think of these distributions, especially the ones aimed at new users. Do you think that we should be trying to emulate another operating system in order to introduce them to these systems? Or should we try and introduce something new and kind of steer them along the way? Obviously, that's what Ubuntu has tried to do in the past. As always, give the video a thumbs up if it helped you out or if you liked the video, and also subscribe if you like this content on a regular basis, and I shall see you all in the very next video. And as always, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+, and leave me stuff to think about, and I will leave you stuff to think about sometimes. As always, pleasure hanging out with you, and I shall catch you all in the very next video. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.